LeBron James has definitely made a significant amount of money in his years as the best player in the NBA. What he does with that money might be a mystery to some, but look no further. Here are the most expensive things that LeBron James owns. LeBron James doesn't just buy expensive things for himself, as this first item was directed towards his former Cleveland Cavaliers teammates. LeBron went ahead and bought every single one of his teammates a fully tailored suit with about everything you can want on it. The Tom Brown suits were supposed to have them matching ahead of a game with the Indiana Pacers. Let me just tell you, I would have been terrified if I see my opponents walking in with this type of drip. But I digress. It was reported that James was dropping roughly $5,000 for each individual suit, and there were about 10 to 13 players on the roster at that time. I guess when it comes to making your team look intimidating and fresh, you can afford to drop some extra dough. But we didn't even mention the best part yet, as he also bought every single person matching shoes and a bag to go with it. Not cheap shoes or bags either, as these were all designer brands that don't come without a hefty price tag. You know what else comes with a hefty price tag? The money that LeBron spent on a wonderful cause. This also happens to be a charitable event called the After School All-Stars. It's a group that is stationed in his hometown of Akron and is supposed to help raise money and donate it to students who plan on furthering their education in college. The program has many other benefits on top of that, such as extracurricular activities and ways to keep students in school and motivated. However, what makes this an expensive item is that LeBron takes time to connect with them on social media. These students that he connects with get their full $9,500 tuition scholarships covered annually for each student, which currently has at least 800 enrolled. When you do the math on that, it equates to an awfully large amount of money, but it's going to a great cause. This next one isn't going anywhere in particular, but rather straight into LeBron's garage. LeBron has himself a pretty phenomenal car collection, with the Ferrari F430 Spider being one of his most expensive. Over the years, LeBron has been seen driving around with this vehicle, a car that can go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 4.1 seconds. Other sites claim that the car has a possibility of reaching up to 193 miles per hour as its top speed. So, what did LeBron have to pay in order to get this car to be his own? A cool $154,000. I guess when your net worth is in the high millions, you can afford to drop over $150,000 on a beautiful flashy sports car, though this isn't the only car worth talking about in his collection. Which isn't surprising given that the expected value of his collection is ranging between $1 to $3 million. The next car that James purchased himself is a 2012 Ferrari 458 Italia Spider. Yep, that's right. LeBron has what is essentially the upgraded version of the previous car we just spoke about. This car is currently listed to be worth around $257,000 according to Motor Trend. Though it's not out of the question that LeBron has bumped the value of this bad boy up a little bit with some extra modifications. The Spider has about 562 horsepower and can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.3 seconds. It's also reported to have a top speed clocking in at 199 miles per hour, with some claiming it as the fastest car in the world when it released. You know what else is expensive? This 2015 Porsche 918 Spider that the King bought. This Porsche was involved in what was a 21-month limited production run, yet James was able to get in on that. The base purchasing option for this case is already estimated to be $847,975, but the King made sure to get a little bit further up the ladder. LeBron heard about the car's release and tracked down the owner straight away, immediately heading into negotiations with him for a vehicle. The Sports Rush and Essentially Sports have each reported that James' negotiations with the owner had him paying $2.2 million for the Porsche at the end of the day. The car has a 129 horsepower electric motor with another one in the back that has 156 horsepower. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a span of just 2.5 seconds and has a full electric mode which can see it happening in 5.7 seconds. When you're looking at LeBron's car collection, you simply can't forget about the Porsche. Though it's still not the most expensive, that title goes to this next one. This car is a 2009 Rolls-Royce Phantom. It's a luxury sedan that was almost matching a similar style of car that his former teammate Shaquille O'Neal bought a few years ago. That car was estimated to be worth somewhere in the $400,000 range, but James's Phantom is somewhere in the upper $500,000 area. It's a 7th generation Phantom that comes with a Starlight headliner, which is meant to copy what the night sky looks like. It also has cabin curtains, a wine cooler, and a humidor to go along with the Starlight headline that's included. Oh, and we can't forget about the fact that it's kicking 454 horsepower in total, with 531 pounds worth of torque. As for speed, it can hit 60 miles per hour in just a matter of 5.2 seconds, with a top speed of 155. It's not the fastest car that King owns, but it's definitely considered luxury with how beautiful the interior looks. Plus, it's not like the car goes slow either, as those speeds are pretty damn fast in comparison to other cars out there. LeBron got his money's worth on this one. But if you thought those other cars were cool, just buckle up for this next one, because it's one of his most expensive out of his collection. The Lamborghini Aventador Roadster, which is valued at $670,000 right now. It's got a unique feature on it as well, with a design that's meant to match the Nike LeBron X1 King's Pride shoes with a floral print. LeBron used this car to promote his new shoe drop and spent extra just to make this livery a reality. The Lambo can hit 60 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds with a ridiculously fast top speed of 217. So yeah, this car is definitely one of the best that he has to offer. That makes a total of $3.8 million worth of cars just from the ones we've listed. Muhammad Ali was the best that his sport had to offer as well, which is why LeBron spent money to show his own respects. LeBron James was just one of the many people across the world that were inspired by the legendary Muhammad Ali. So much so that LeBron donated $2.5 million to the Smithsonian National Museum exhibit. The exhibit is titled Muhammad Ali, A Force for Change, and spans 2 separate parts to honor his legacy and what he stood for. LeBron mentioned that Ali was a champion of justice during his donation announcement. Other stars such as Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson contributed to the exhibit as well. Those stars aren't able to contribute to LeBron's insane watch collection though. Speaking of something expensive, that's exactly what LeBron's watch collection is. Now, we don't officially know how many watches LeBron currently owns at this very second. What we do know is the estimated value of his entire Rolex collection. About a year ago, a report came out from GQ which listed almost every single watch that LeBron has worn out in public. The article rattles off a large number of watches outside of the 2 that we've already touched on earlier. But when you add the estimated value of all of these watches together, you will come away with a Rolex watch collection that's worth over $3 million in total. Yes, that's right. LeBron has this many watches. I'm sure it could even be higher than this if his Rolex collection continues to stack up. We can't sit around and name all of them, though there is one in particular that seems to stand out above the rest. That would be an 18-karat white gold set that happens to include a whopping 608 diamonds. Yes, you read that correctly. The basketball star was wearing a watch with nearly 1,000 diamonds in it. It's estimated that a Rolex watch of that nature set the king back $178,000, just further adding on to the overall value of the watch collection he has. Only time will tell if we can catch a glimpse of LeBron wearing that watch out on the town again, or if he's got that locked away for safekeeping. The next watch that we have to talk about is called the Richard Mille RM1103. Without any doubt, this is the crown jewel of LeBron's current watch collection. It's got a titanium-based movement with a skeletonized dial. As of right now, the watch is priced at $373,000, making it one of the most expensive watches in his collection. Twice as much as the other Rolex watch that we just talked about, the one with over 600 diamonds. That just goes to show how beautiful the Richard Mille watch truly is. This piece has also contributed to GQ writing a story about LeBron and calling him a Hall of Fame watch collector. After just going over a few of these watches, we see that he has spent $551,000 on them. That's enough about his watches. We also can't forget to talk about some of his most notable investments over the years, 3 of them in particular. LeBron James isn't only attached to basketball, as he decided to throw his name into the ring of a football club. LeBron decided to pour a $6.5 million investment into the Liverpool Football Club all the way back in 2011. That investment got looked over again in 2019, and it was estimated to be worth $43 million for the king. Though, this isn't the only large investment that LeBron has made over the years. LeBron realized that both he and his family might have a wonderful investment option on their hands, and they chose to take it. He invested about $1 million into a pizza chain called Blaze Pizza, as he wanted to help jumpstart the brand and get it in business. His investment helped him become a 10% owner of the company, and he started to star in some commercials to further promote it. Fast forward to today, and Blaze Pizza has at least 300 stores around the world. It is also currently estimated to be worth over $100 million with all of its growth. So, LeBron and his family definitely made away with a pretty penny for their help on kickstarting this company. James also invests heavily into himself. And no, we aren't just talking about him buying cars or anything like that. We are actually talking about the money LeBron uses on his own body. It's not easy being at the top of your game for years and years, especially when you're getting older. LeBron knows that, and it's why he decides to spend roughly $1.5 million per year on keeping himself in tip-top shape. That sounds like an enormous amount because it is, but it's a price that James is willing to take to keep on playing. This $1.5 million is used on workout equipment, a home gym, trainers, nutritionists, therapists, massages, and much more. When you have the money and your main source of it is from basketball, you got to put a little time into yourself. If you add up the years that he's been spending this much money on his body, then it's sure to be a much more astonishing amount. In just the investments that we've spoken about here, LeBron has spent $9 million on them. LeBron doesn't just spend money on himself, he also gives back a significant amount whenever he can. This next expensive thing is currently helping hundreds of kids. LeBron had developed something called the I Promise Initiative. It's an initiative that helped LeBron literally build an elementary school in his hometown to help improve the schooling situation down there. The school currently teaches grades 1 through 8, with his foundation covering $20 million of the construction costs for it. That's not the most expensive part of this entire school either, as LeBron goes ahead and donates $1 million per year for the teachers' salaries. That extra million each year is also meant to help keep larger class sizes. This school also got meal packages from James to help out during the COVID-19 pandemic, and over 1,000 graduating students receiving scholarships to go to college. LeBron has spent at least $41 million on the project at this point, and he likely isn't going to be stopping that anytime soon either. Aside from the donations, LeBron does in fact need to spend money on a place to live, which is where this next item leads us. LeBron managed his money correctly and made sure to capitalize on his earnings early on when the housing market wasn't so expensive. Back in 2003, James decided to settle down and purchase a mansion in Ohio. The mansion sits on 7 acres of property nowadays and set him back $2.1 million. However, LeBron has spent the years renovating and improving upon the house and what it entails. He added at least another 30,000 square feet onto the property just to spice it up a bit. The mansion now has 19 rooms, which includes 6 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. It also has a bowling alley, recording studio, sports bar, home theater, an aquarium, and a barbershop. So it's safe to say that Ohio is where LeBron feels the most at home. When you throw in the home improvements that he bought, the value of this property is listed as at least $9 million. What's $9 million on a house when you can spend nearly double that on a means of transportation? According to travel.com, LeBron James owns himself a beautiful private jet. The private jet is listed as a Gulfstream G280, which has twin engines and is listed at a value of $22 million. The jet has not one, but 2 living areas inside of it with a top speed of 3,600 nautical miles. It's expected to hold about 10 people and first hit the market in 2012, around the time when LeBron decided to snag it for his family. Though some sources do state that LeBron restricts his kids from flying in the private jet to allow them to learn humility. Of course, LeBron doesn't just own one property that costs less than his jet. He also purchased a house in Los Angeles. When you make as much money as LeBron James and you live in Los Angeles, there's definitely a chance that you're living in something substantial. LeBron James has bought and sold a number of houses over the years, but there's one that's been sticking around more than the rest. It's been reported that he's currently living in a Los Angeles mansion that is worth $52 million in total. The house is listed as having 8 bedrooms and an absolutely insane 11 bathrooms included. Not to mention that there are marble countertops with a beautiful kitchen to go along with it. LeBron certainly prefers to live lavishly. It's hard to blame him though when you can afford something like this. Some of these purchases are absolutely insane to think about considering how much money they cost. I guess it's not that crazy for the king. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Oh, and watch these videos on your screens now.